Well, I wasn't able to, well, I was able to, I just didn't. I did not get back into this before it had dried, so now I'm getting back into it. Using a combination of knife, excuse me, and brush to bump things up here. It's kind of the rewarding part, you know. I'm getting to raise the values and the chroma. It's kind of fun. Have to be pretty selective how you go about doing it, but I'm enjoying it. I laid in a shot of white with just a hint of yellow ochre across here, a slice. I did it with a brush and then I touched it with a knife, like that. Same thing on these rocks. I needed to punch them up a little bit. This whole area needed to be punched up. So we're getting, this also is actually, no, this was, the white on these rocks was yellow ochre, a bit of raw umber and white. Just raising the values though, even out here, even out here, even out here, just a bit. Even as far as here, yeah. So, you know, it's brought it out gradually, toning itself down as it moves off to the right. And I have a lot of little ridges in here. So that's why I'm mostly working with the brush. If it gets looking too brushy, I might go over a couple of spots with a knife, but I'm not going to worry about that for a moment. In fact, I'm just not going to worry about it, period. Unless it really rubs me the wrong way once it's all in place. So we're back to, I've used Cad Yellow Pale, a shot of it there, and a bit of white, and Cad Yellow Deep over here. The odd little bit of Cad Yellow Pale, very small amounts, you know, more here. We want this very intense color to disappear in behind this corner, you know, behind these trees. I am going to pick up some more light on the sky as we move forward. I'd like to have, you know, sort of, it's almost a halo effect behind this island. And then more than likely, because on the right hand side I'm going to need to come sort of down with my reflections in the water and highlights, we can oppose it by going up in this direction with some of these colors. So we will end up with sort of, yeah, would you call them clouds? I don't know. I would say more like levels of moisture in the sky. So, how are we doing here? I think I don't want it too bright. If I want it brighter, I can make it brighter. I would like to bring this yellow, you know, the highest chromas will be here. As it goes around the bush and tucks in behind this orange one, I'd like to have a little bit of yellow showing there as well. But instead of using the Cad yellows, I'm bringing a little bit of raw umber into the into the mix right along here. So that it slowly gets toned down. But see how this, bringing this yellow ochre adjacent to this orange, it helps the orange to jump out a little bit. Not that I want that orange to be too strong. I just want its presence to be known. I have to watch where I put my finger here. Okay, that definitely shows it more. It shows it more. I like that. Let me just... Actually, I'll grab my knife for this. You know, the surface of a knife stroke is much more reflective than that of a brush stroke. It has a different look to it. Okay, that's all right. I don't want to go too far up here. I don't I don't want this to be too important. But I more or less in a situation like this will work my way across and across again and across again. You know, just each little stroke is juxtaposed to each other. And it's kind of important that you get it right. Okay. I think I'll put something in here as well. It's so tempting to keep carrying on with the cadmiums, but in no time I would discover that I had the whole thing looking intense in yellow and orange. Well, if the whole thing is a bar of orange and yellow and bits of red, what's there to compare it to? You know, it's like the old thing, if everybody can't be special, because if everybody's special, then nobody's special. So if you have a color that's special and you just blanket the canvas with it, then none of it's special, because there's nothing adjacent to it to compare it to. You don't have any sort of weaker, toned down benchmarks to make the stronger strokes pop. I'm not going to use these colors on these deals here to do this little stump. I think those colors will be more along the lines of the rock. Let me just move you a little closer here. Yeah, you sit right next to me on the couch here. How about that? Okay. Now I'm going to use a little knife, my smallest knife. It's a baby knife. It has a high voice. All right. We're going to go with you know what? I'll leave the blues out of it. I'm just going to go straight ultramarine. No, straight raw umber. Actually, allow me to tidy up one little thing before I do that. Okay. fewer strokes I can put on here to describe something, the better. Okay, I think that works. Economy of stroke, it's called. Yeah, do we want a little bit of ground cover here, just peeking up with a little bit of red? Let's see, reddish blue. That's actually just, I have a little bit of cad red medium on my palette. So how about if we do that? How about if we actually mix it with a touch of cobalt blue, so that we're dropping the chroma. You know, we drop the value a little bit, but we also want to drop the chroma as we move off to our right, away from the light source. Especially want to drop that chroma, because my goodness, it's easily quite strong. Cad red is it can be quite the color. To contend with when you're painting. Reds in general are they are the reason why cameras wear diapers, because there are so many reds seem to fool cameras so easily. The camera gets a little bit scared. Let's see, this is going to be very pink, but I'm not worried. If it's nasty, we'll have the rest of the day to fix it, so I don't care at all. Shot a straight white on there. I hate that when that happens. It's such a nuisance. I don't like using this little knife either, but sometimes it's just handy. I think we'll call that okie dokie. Okie dokie. Now, I'm tempted to take some of these colors or this and go up into here, but I'm going to hold off. I'm just going to hold off on that. Thankfully, no lawn mowing today. However, I do have tree trimming to do. You know, it's spring. Where we live, we get so much moisture, and the soil here is so rich. Things grow like crazy. So, for the first sort of month and a half of spring, things go nuts. Yeah, then it requires a little more attention than usual. And it's Saturday, and my wife's home, so maybe it's a good day to go and play in the yard. Sun's out, beautiful weather, nice and warm. But I did want to get this done. You know, this is like sort of instant gratification. I was getting bored with some of the dark stuff I was doing on the left hand side there. I'll square off the camera so that you can see more clearly, as usual, what I'm doing. Okay. I think you can see quite clearly now how much more strength there is in it now. It's really, really making this area pop, you know. And I can easily now see, you know, I left this low earlier because I had not yet introduced the idea of some foreground rock. But with all this strength here, we can easily afford to lighten up the sky. You know, have some direction of moisture, of mist, whatever you want to call it, ambient moisture, catching a bit of light. So, you know, that'll provide a bit of a halo effect. It'll make this edge pop a little more, a little stronger. It's not right on the edge of the painting. You know, we're very adjacent to the most important part. So I think that's going to work out. I'm liking it. I really felt it was looking quite humdrum there until I was able to get into the brighter stuff. But we're popping now. Now we're cooking with gas. Sorry, I'm using my left hand, panning the camera, and that's never a good idea for me. See, there's our little stumpy. I don't know how many strokes that was, but it wasn't too many. 1, 2, 3, 4? 4 strokes? Economy of stroke. If you can pull it off. Because boy, a lot of the time I definitely cannot pull it off. Yeah, you can see some, you know, clearly are brush strokes. I'm not going to go over them with the knife. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't mind a combination of the two. Not on this one. Okay, it's still heading in the right direction. And that's really all a person can hope for. Have a good weekend. We'll see you soon.